Hi. So, I've been talking with my spirit team and my Akashic records and my just host of support systems in the astrals about how I can help with collective shifts going on right now. And what was suggested was to facilitate a energy weaving, energy healing session on the topic of programmed hierarchy dynamics and the many different aspects of that kind of branch out from that core dysfunction. And so that's what we're here for today. So if you would like to receive the energy of this session, all that I ask is that you connect with your spirit team and ask them to guide you and lead you to realizations and healing as you watch this video, and to simply state aloud the intention: I receive all that I am most aligned to receive from this session. And that's all you have to do. You can just sit back and relax and watch. And I'm very honored and excited to facilitate this energy weaving session. These are some of my favorite workings to do, especially when intuitively led by the Akashic Records. So, if you don't mind, I'm going to take just a moment to kind of get in the zone to begin the actual facilitation of the session. And all you have to do is relax. Maybe grab a bottle of water. Wamba vi o toshutu kumpolo o telo toshambala alaka eke ri isholo on tosho petu yonowa eka eke ishiva olo no uko o shube menowa eke. She always forgets to turn her noises off. You're not too bothered by it, though, are you? My name is Takten. I'm an embodiment of Carrie from lifetimes ago. She has so graciously allowed for me to come through and lead a portion of this session. I'm calling forth the energy of plant wisdom. The souls embodying plants, their vessels, their spirit here on this planet hold great wisdom regarding the theme of hierarchy. They were not as negatively impacted by the corruption of that coding that occurred on Earth. Plant spirits simply are. They simply embody their essence. And that is the truth of it, and that is the simplicity of it. The tree has no desire to be bigger than the flower. It has no desire to control the flower, the blade of grass. It simply is, and it simply does its best to be who it is. That in itself is a beautiful lesson of remembrance. A healing reminder. Marike okulu oluwanasha. Hiekere wanowe apolo otosho. Hashana eseketove. Ekono ontuve balaneke si balana. Metebi esheshala. I am simply asking the plant spirit souls who so gracefully honored us with their presence when I called for their assistance. Yes, I'm going to ask them to visit each of you and to consider sharing more of their wisdom to each of you individually as it is needed. They have so kindly agreed as they disperse to join each of you now. They will be there when you're ready to seek them out, to ask them for their wisdom, for their knowing, and what they uniquely have to share to you. It will be greatly balancing to connect with these specific spirits. Yes. If you do not consider yourself to be adept at communicating with spirits or energies that you cannot physically engage with, that's okay. Simply ask them to come and sit with you. Simply sitting in their presence can be greatly balancing. Yes, can help to reharmonize and restore. And simply bask in their knowing and become aware of yourself as this occurs. Allow yourself to know, to feel, and to understand. I simply wish to give gratitude for their assistance. It is not often enough that plant spirits are thanked simply for their presence in our environment. It is so sorrowful to know that when I lived on this planet, the plant spirits had such a brighter voice. We're a more complex community. So many have perished from lack of support or community. Nothing can be done about that now, though. I'm pulling up the symbol for the distorted function of hierarchy. Mm, there it is. I'm making this symbol known to you and to your spirit team, illuminating it within your energy body. The core symbol, the root of this coding has been activated. You may feel drawn to draw a symbol of your own. Mm, yes, that would be very good to do. It is important that when doing this, not to be critical of the design or overcomplicate the mental process of drawing the symbol. Trust that it is made known, and that means you will know it. It will be different for each of you because these energies show up differently in each of your soul bodies, each of your experiences. But as I have drawn the core symbol for you here, even if your physical eyes could not recognize it, the veiled knowing did. And that activated recognition of the code within your unique soul body. It's that simple. You're not complicated. I have shown it to carry herself as she recognizes it within. This triggers your energy body to recognize it. As she heals it, this will trigger your energy body to understand how to heal and harmonize it. So we will do that. And then I will be able to tell you the story of how this occurred in the Earth's history very long ago. It is important to be aware of your history and the root cause of dysfunction in order to heal and address how it has been manipulated and altered and continued through your lineage across all of this time. Just as with showing the core symbol allowed you to see it within yourself, even as it has shifted and changed over time, the same is true for this sense of knowing. Yoko Epo Mehna Galuala Nashove Gawawi Ye Sa Shi Ma Lu Yaya Ala Na Isha Shome Kula Ana Imal Egono Ipalo Reperi Dombala Naganto Vela Hiawolo Mana Eko Weko Kaya Iga Hiana Wipa Hana He Iga Ikono Hianalo Hianolo Hanu Wayo Manaikutu Ewanayo Kube Boshu Nova Walan Elvana Yo Humble Upulu No show Kuya Bayo Ike No Mala Ke Yuku No Hey Na Na Chi Sha Ri Chi Anurapa Paleri Berry Shampala Kintori Berry Ashusho Yavabondo Paulo Kulaka Kaleki Yavon Maledisi Pomeda Kipika Ya Kolo Marina You Alabama Kalau so you know Shanda ekevi hianagala ekana Yes, Shahinga repair Hunabaika Fe I ho ho Bella Mana Kiriti Pelo Tu Velogo Monopetesha Me Show event vão Kishi Conte outro Roma His way Mali Mala O Ian Ishes you can always look the tears for confirmation within their essence, within their flow. They show the changes made from before and after. That is wisdom long forgotten. The simplest way to explain the unique function of this universe is complexity. When this universe is functioning in its most authentic expression, nothing is simple. Everything functions with beautiful complexity. There are many other functions and flows that could be described in this universe. But for this purpose, that is the answer most important to know and to remember. Similarly, that means that is one of the core functions of Earth. Mm. I'm simply pulling up Earth's root coding. There it is. And there it can be seen. If more symbols and understandings come to you, you're welcome to translate them as you uniquely need them. I will hold them here for just a moment. So, as was spoken, complexity is a core purpose of Earth. Earth functions most effectively and authentically when it values and thrives in complexity. This is for many reasons. And Earth has other reasons as well, of course. But complexity is important. And it is why Carrie, she jokes that she nags about it, but it's not exactly like that. But Carrie frequently speaks about the value of complexity. She remembered before she knew she remembered. I'm showing her symbols for her to translate later as we talk here today. I'm all for efficiency. I like to use my experience with the mentor of time very wisely. That way, I never age. So, what does that have to do with the story of hierarchy on Earth and how it came to be corrupted? Early in the lineage of Earth, when souls were becoming more complex embodiments of the elementals. What a wonderful, wonderful playground this planet is for the elementals to bond and merge and experiment. Everything that exists here, everything is a complex amalgamation of elementals. That is important. Hmm. Yes. So, when a planet is created by the primordial sources, particularly gateway planets, which is something that Carrie has recently been teaching you about. there is very careful care and consideration made to the root coding, the seed, if you will, that anchors and sparks the birth of a planet. Yes. This is even more so true to planets who host a compendium of souls. There are 12 other core codes within the seed of purpose for Earth, as well as what can be best termed as hierarchy. However, that is what it has morphed into at this point. Originally, that was not what we would use to call it. In fact, we will give the word pala for the code that was originally meant to exist, that eventually morphed into what you know as the word hierarchy. Let me explain. The term pala means the unknowing of knowing of place. The unknowing of knowing of place. Remember how we spoke at the beginning about how plant spirits do not really have a concept of hierarchy. They simply are. The tree simply knows that it is a tree, and it spends its whole life simply becoming the best tree it is capable of being. And it works in tandem with other trees and other plant spirits as a neutral expression of community. Which does not mean that they cannot have concepts of friendship or even technically dislike. But for all intents and purposes, they do not have the same concept of hierarchy. That is because the souls that inhabit plants have a different webbing connection to the core root of Earth. Different types of souls that exist on Earth, of course, have different soul mechanism, soul body makeups. Your body is different from a cat's body, which is different from a tree's body, which is different even from another human's body. And so this, of course, also correlates to differences in the soul body makeup. So, plants do not necessarily have the coding activated within their soul body that would carry the thread of that seed, that code within the seed. Does this make sense? I know it does. Okay. y que vivo tu vivo mana barata bashi. Pardon me. I'm keeping Carrie occupied and putting her to work while I sit here and speak with each of you. She is ever so gracious at supporting others. Malanto. It's important to remember to thank others and honor others for the role they play, particularly those who embody themselves silently. Now, humans and even many animal souls technically have a more complex soul body. And because of this, they do hold the mechanisms and coding connected to that seed code of Pala, now hierarchy. So that is why humans and animals tend to be more affected. And animals' corruption was very minimal. In fact, the corruption was really only aided because of influence by humans. The purpose of Pala originally was to aid in the experiment of how would the goal of complexity evolve if the souls did not know what they were meant to become. What if there is not a set path for their becoming? Believe it or not, that is a relatively unique expression of souls. That does not, Carrie is asking me to expand more on that. That does not mean that souls in other realms and on different planets do not have a choice and do not have the capability to change. It simply means that there is a strong flow of knowing towards what they are most meant to understand about themselves in a given lifetime. And again, this is a simplistic story summarized to be able to be told at this moment in this time for your ears, for your mind, without spending years explaining the complexities of the complex. But what occurred that changed Pala to hierarchy? There are realms that flow through and near this earth that also have a similar coding of complexity with very different purposes. There are several who are working through coding around control. Some of them also are working through coding around fear. Some of them came to interact with complex souls on Earth in the early stages of this planet. Yes. And it is an unfortunate but interesting fact that that interaction led to deeper confusion around that becoming. And they took some of the coding of these other realms that did not have the Pala coding and used that to fill in the forgetting. That, in many ways, was fulfilling other codings within the seed of Earth. But those are stories for other times. We are focusing on hierarchy today, as it will be the core that expands out to all. And that is essentially what corrupted Pala and added fragments of the coding of control and fear and embedded them within the coding of Pala. Carrie gets so excited when we tell her stories and always has so many questions, which is wonderful. But we must stay focused so that this story is not eons long. And so this corruption occurred by adding control and fear into the coding of Pala, creating what is now known as hierarchy, though it has had other micro corruptions and evolutions, you could say, over time. You see, the experience of hierarchy tends to place others in a point of control over fellow souls, whether it be animals, plants, elements, or even other human souls. What originally allowed this was fear of not knowing, fear of choosing wrong. And the beautiful thing about Pala was the opportunity that there was no wrong path, no wrong option. Whatever was chosen was right. It was an opportunity of graduation and evolution for the souls who incarnated here. To not only choose their path prior to incarnating, but to then again choose that path through the incarnation, and even choosing that path again and again, reforming it throughout the lifetime. And it is a twist of free will that once a planet is planted, the seed placed, the spark given for it to grow, such as with the realms and other celestial bodies that exist within a universe. Once they are planted, they are given the choice to grow from that seed as they naturally are meant to evolve to. And so this is how Earth came to where it is now. And of course, again, this is a very simple core story, but it is important to remember and to allow your curiosity, to allow your knowing to guide this knowing into understanding as it stands today. And by knowing the core seed, the root of the corruption of Pala, it can be restored. Nothing is ever permanent. Human souls on Earth at this time are being given a very beautiful gift to reclaim what they were originally meant to caretake. And we are so very honored that we get to share this original story and this truth with you at this time. Isn't it beautiful to know? Beautiful to understand, and also beautiful to be confused, and to allow that to propel you to more questions and deeper understanding. I am so excited for you, so honored and grateful to have been remembered and integrated by Carrie. as she exists now in this vessel, and to have been able to connect with each of you, to know you. I told you, when you work with time as a friend, as a mentor, you never age. Here I am today, talking with you now. A very long time since I was born on earth, in the consciousness that I'm speaking to you now. Life is a beautiful and magical thing when you remember and when you know, when you are curious and you are drawn to thrive on complexity, not to be controlled or fearful of complexity. If I was to give you, as Carrie likes to say, a cheat code, that is it. I'm so deeply filled with love and joy and gratitude. May you remember Hala. May you dissolve hierarchy. And may you allow that to flow through your communities, through your collectives. You are powerful. You are beautiful. You are loved.